Pam's son recovered from E. coli, but as the number of cases reaches 75, politicians want an inquiry into the outbreak. NHS staff warn Pembrokeshire Health chiefs that morale's at rock bottom as major cutbacks are planned. And it's a sellout as the Swans fly high at the top of the table. Fans flock to support their team. Good afternoon, welcome to the programme. There are mounting calls for an inquiry into the E. coli outbreak as the number of cases has continued to rise. 75 people, mainly children, are now affected by the potentially deadly food poisoning in the Rhondda Cynon Taf, Merthyr Tydfil, Caerphilly and Bridgend areas. The Food Standards Agency has linked the outbreak with a school's meat supplier. Here's our chief reporter, Penny Roberts.
This is Daniel Saki. He's 11 years old and one of the dozens of children struck down by E. coli poisoning. He's now recovering after a terrifying week for his mother.
Daniel was very ill. He'd been having stomach cramps quite severely, had been to the toilet every 10 minutes, passing blood, and had diarrhoea and sickness, headaches, and was extremely ill.
With the outbreak sweeping through the valleys, Daniel was the first case identified in the Bridgend area. He spent 5 days in hospital. Parents, it's claimed, have not been given enough information.
It was a great worry for us, wondering whether Daniel would get worse and not being told anything. And a great worry as well whether this was, if the children in the area would have the same thing, whether Daniel's friends would come down with the same thing.
Today, John Tudor in Bridgend, the meat supplier linked with this outbreak, is closed. An emergency order has been served banning the sale of its products until the outbreak control team completes its investigation. This strain of E. coli, called 0157, is one of the most virulent, and already the number of reported cases is more than double the average amount expected in Wales in a whole year. Its impact has been so serious that some children are still very ill in hospital. Among them, Garen Price, the 9-year-old from Aberraman who's being treated for renal failure triggered by the bacteria. The scale of this outbreak has now prompted demands for an inquiry into how food going into our schools is checked.
How the outbreak came about and the standards and the inspection process is it allows something like this to happen.
And this afternoon, public health officials continue to monitor the situation. 75 cases of E. coli poisoning so far, and more are expected.